This just in, Youth and Government Law AL04 has caused controversy between two women in a commercial surrogacy contract. Commercial surrogacy is, as stated by law, the process in which an individual or couple pays a fee to a woman in exchange for her carrying and delivering a baby. The dispute is over which woman has the right to the child, and each of them declared the child is theirs. Right now, we are talking to Mark Bukowski, Shakira O'Kane, and the Attorney General.
Thanks, Matt. Now, Mr. Caputo, as the Attorney General, why do you think that Mrs. O'Kane deserves this child?
While Youth and Government Law AL04 gives infertile women and couples the ability to have children of their own through means of commercial surrogacy. Being that this law was passed last year, my client has constitutional right to the child because this makes the contract enforceable.
And Mrs. O'Kane, how do you feel about this?
Well, that baby's genetically mine, and I went through a very painful procedure in order to retrieve my eggs. Considering that the baby came from my genes and my eggs, he's clearly my son.
Now, why did you turn to surrogacy?
Well, unfortunately, I have a rare genetic disorder that makes it impossible to have my own children.
How do you feel about the gestational mother?
I think she's insane. The court ordered her to give me my child back, and instead of obeying the court, she ran around New York City for 2.5 years with my son.
And Mr. Witkowski, how are you involved in today's case?
Well, I run a business that helps women find surrogate mothers. And when I met Miss O'Kane, I introduced her to her surrogate mother, and they entered into a contract.
Thank you, Mr. Witkowski. Mrs. O'Kane, any last words?
I just really hope after all this, I get my child back.
Okay, thank you all for being here.
Thanks, Matt. Ms. George, as representative for the gestational mother, why do you feel she doesn't have to uphold the surrogacy contract?
Surrogacy contracts are invalid and therefore do not have to be upheld. They're not only unconstitutional, but they also violate New York State's public policy and the adoption laws in New York State.
Ms. Giordano, how do you feel about the situation?
I had no idea the emotional toll this would take on me. I had this baby for 9 months, and I bonded with him for several years after that. I believe that this baby is truly mine.
Ms. Giordano, could you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
I obtained my GED several years ago, and I was planning on using the money from the surrogacy to go on and go to community college. My family, I'm very close to my extended family, and I believe that this baby would have an amazing support system with me and my extended family.
And finally, what are your thoughts about the genetic mother?
I don't believe she's fit to have this baby at all. She's planning on hiring nannies for both the day and the night. That is no way for a child to live. They need the love of my family. Also, she's had a history with drug problems, and I don't want a baby to be around that.
Both of you, thank you for your time. Back to you, Matt.
Selling babies? Hard to believe our elected officials passed a law like that. But then again, if I could sell my mother-in-law, that's a law that I could get behind. Next up, an inside look at the lives of prisoners at Greenkill Penitentiary, where the crime was failing to address the chair, and even in more extreme cases, questioning the bench.